Alright, so I got a question the other day. Is if I want to do a sketch, whether it's for a painting or a drawing or a whatever, what do I actually draw? What sketch lines do I draw? So I thought I'd answer that question in this class today as well. So what I've done is I've just printed out, I'll just put that down so that I don't get any marks on my drawing paper. I've printed out a lighter version of our reference drawing so that I can just sketch directly onto that. So the first thing that you're looking for when you want to draw will be your outlines. So let's put them in. And when I put them in, I'm not looking for little details like here. You can see this, you've got the hairs and so on. I'm not interested in them. So this is basically the boundary between the background and the foreground, and the outlines of various objects as well. So think of them as like the borders between different objects. So that's the first thing that you're going to draw. They're the most obvious. And I'm hoping with this dark marker that I'm using and the light printout, you'll be able to sort of instantly see that even if you ignore the detail and stuff, you should be able to tell what is it that you're going to draw or paint today. Alright, so from there, now you're going to put in the details. So that's the stuff that's inside your silhouette of your object. So in this case, the silhouette of our cow. And for that, I'm going to look for the main features. Eyes, ears, nose. Stuff like distinctive features. For example, here you've got where the hair changes color. That's a very distinctive feature, that. The outline of the mouth. There's another distinct little change of color over there. And then after that, I'm going to look for finer details. And for that, I'm going to either use just a dotted line or a thinner line. And those details are things like the directions of the hairs. Can you see over here? You've got those different directions of the hairs, because your hairs lie in a specific direction depending on the angle of the face and so on, because the hairs conform to the contour of the face. Or like here on the horns, you've got those little angles that the pattern. Let's bring this guy in. You can see you got that pattern that's formed on there. So you'd want to put those kind of little angles in, because they help you show the rounding of the horns. And these little direction lines over here tell you in which direction to paint or draw in when you're working. So by having some of these guys in, they sort of save you that time of having to reference your drawing or your reference photo every 2 minutes as you work, because now you've got some of those direction lines in. So you just get the technique that you need to for example in this area to grate those hairs. You know that technique, so you can just keep using that technique in these directions over here. Yeah, there's distinct little objects. Let's put him in. So technically you could have done this here with a dark as well, or a the broader line. That's fine. And let's see over here. Can you see here? It's not a distinct edge like we had over there. Let's bring the photo without the lines in for a second. Can you see here? It's a distinct edge where that part of the nose ends over there, or where that ends over there. It's very distinct. But then you get other areas that are subtle like this. It's not a distinct line over there anymore. So you want to sort of, and here, it's not a hard edge that you want to put in. It's just a continuous shading. So I'm going to put those kind of guys in with these dotted lines as well. So sometimes I'll start off with a hard edge. You can see there like that, and then it's as that edge softens up, then I'll go over to using dotted lines. And this little shadow over here. Shadows tend to have soft edges. That's why I didn't put him in with a hard, with a distinct line. I'd rather use either a thinner line or a dotted line. And then here we do have a few little lines of those hairs going out, but they outside that bounding box. I would generally not put them in simply because you're going to have to paint your background and stuff, and then those lines will disappear. So if you do all of this and add those guys in last, then they would naturally overlap, and you'd have all these other angles to judge those little lines. And that's what I would draw for something like this. So I hope that's helped you to figure out what to draw. You start with your bounding edges, the things, the silhouette of the objects. Without that, you don't know what it is. And then from there, then you take a look at the inside main details, the main features that define the insides of the object, like the eyes, nose, the edges where things are distinctly changing, like here where we had the two different tones of hair and so on. And then after that, you look for the details, just little direction lines and little subtle things that you need to think of as you're working. So these little thinner guys are just sort of guides for you to not have to reference back to your drawing or your reference photo so often. So I hope that's given you more clarity on what to draw before you start drawing a painting. If you do want to see me do this whole sketch, the tutorial is on my website. I'll leave a link for you below and in the description of the video. And if you're new to drawing, you can go and take a look at my How to Draw course over here. There's a link for that on the screen now as well. Thank you for watching. See you next time.